Let's get a little bit of that there. And hello. I go this way to be more in the center. All right. Welcome. This is Alert Wolf here to bring you a review of Tempest, Blast of Tempest, Episode 5. This one's called Everything Happens for a Reason. And in this episode, it starts off with that dude, was it Simone? How you pronounce his name? Simone, there we go. You know, and basically what's going on is he's talking to one of his guys and they're discussing the princess and the fact that she has two guys helping her. At the same time, we flash over and the princess is talking to or Higase, whatever. The princess is talking to her two boys, and they're trying to figure out the next move. And the next move is going to be, they need to track down more talismans, because, you know, they're starting to run low. So that's what goes on. And so there's basically a conversation back and forth about, you know, are they gonna go for her on the island? They can't go for her, at least from the villain's standpoint, because they really can't go for her because it would be too expensive to try to breach the island. And obviously she's talking to them, and so that it's too expensive for them to try to go to the island. We find out more about the tree. The Tree of Genesis was injured. And before we even get to the tree, let me go back. Samon, there we go. I knew I'd get the name right. Samon has placed somebody to go after him, to go after the talismans too, because they figure that she must have tons of talismans. So he's hunting down every place she's ever been and hunting down any magical talismans. So they're on a race, and they end up heading towards an aquarium. Now we get more background into the backstory. Alright, so the Tree of Genesis is the tree their clan is supposed to protect. As a result, the tree protects the princess. And that's why she's the strongest mage or magician. And then we have that the fruits are from the Tree of Exodus. And the Tree of Genesis holds the world together, but the Trees of Exodus destroys it. And, you know, what you find is that's what those big fucking fruits are about. And there's 5 fruits and they need a few more. You also found out that at some point in time the Tree of Genesis was injured, and that's why her clan has been protecting the tree while it heals and keeps the logic of the world together. Basically, the laws of nature coherent. And that's interesting to note. Also, Yoshino feels like there's something missing from this story. Like there's something not right, but he can't put his finger on it. And then we get to the aquarium, and Mahiro is like, hey, why did you put a talisman here? She's like, I don't know, I was visiting here with some kids and I just did it, not a big deal. He's like, well, I haven't been here since I was a kid. And, you know, then they ask Yoshino when was the last time he was there. And he's like, it's been a while too. But he has that hesitation and that reflective look on his face, so clearly he's been there recently. And this cues us into a flashback. We see that this was one of the dates he went on with Yoshino's sister. Yoshino was on a date with Mahiro's sister, and and he was wearing big goofy glasses, and she's talking about how we still have to keep it hidden from him, and he's like, yeah, if you ever found out, he'd probably kill me. And she's the one who said, everything happens for a reason. So that's why you have that theme throughout this episode, and that's why it was the title. Then what happens is you get them to. They find it was underneath a dinosaur statue. They find exactly what they're looking for, and then those guys. Sorry. Then the guys show up, sent there by Simone. Anyway, and at first they, Mahiro thinks it's the spear guy, and actually we get the name of the spear guy, which is Natsurama. Well, whatever. That's his name. And, which is cool, because he was just being called the spear guy for a while, so I finally caught his name. And now he calls this guy the arrow guy, but they're fighting with chains. And, Tetsuma's his name, and, he never really got along with the princess anyway, so it is what it is. And then we have a fight between them. Now, they don't have many talismans, so they're trying to conserve. Because, they just went there to get a talisman, so. But, Mahiro ends up rushing Tetsuma, and that goes nowhere because he gets caught up with the chains. But then, Yoshino rams the strut holding up the dinosaur, and it falls on them, and they escape. They start running away, and, they start running away, and they're talking. They're trying to figure out a strategy. And she explains why certain people don't like her and what goes on. And you get to see how powerful she actually is in a flashback. And in the flashback, she's out with the children, some children, I guess, in the woods at a stream, and they're in the stream, and they left their stuff on shore. And this is when Simone goes to capture her, and they're like, "Oh, we got you. We're gonna take you in by force." She goes, "I have, no reason to pretty much to fight you. I'm not gonna resist, but I'm not coming with you peacefully." And then she sticks out her tongue and pulls down her eyes. She goes like that, but she has a tongue ring, and the tongue ring is obviously a talisman. And just to show you how powerful she actually is, she blows up that whole side of the mountain, but protects everybody in there, so nobody dies, because they're all from her clan. This is just a disagreement. You could tell Simone is generally afraid of her. They all are, and and basically it's a good scene, and she ends up going with them, but it's a good scene just to see how strong she is. One more thing, what ends up happening is there's a flashback before this, and something about the charm that was used was a dolphin necklace, and Yoshino gives it a look, and he uses it, and it ends up crumbling. And then you give they give you the flashback, and actually it was the same thing his girlfriend picked out, Maharo's sister. So he's like, it's still a coincidence. And she's like, still there's a reason for everything. And he's basically figuring that, he's trying to think things through. And basically, he realizes that part of what people are saying is, the princess says at some point, I'm skipping ahead. Let me just go. I'm skipping ahead. So, no, I'm right. I'm not skipping ahead. So basically, the princess is saying maybe it was fate, we all met, and he's like, nah, that's not right, because in his head he's going, that means if everything happens for a reason, then the reason she died was so they could try to save the world, and he wasn't going to buy that. But then Mahiro has a plan, and his plan is badass. Basically, his plan is that he's like, Yoshino, I want you to run as a decoy, and I want you to run here. I'm going to do what you did. I'm going to jump in the water. And, alright, so, next thing you know, he's running, people are chasing him, he leads them all into a room, and then his buddy's waiting in the water. He's not actually in the room, he dipped back on them, and whoosh, he breaks the water, all the water comes out, he jumps up, and he has a cable in his hand, and the cable is an electric cable. He's like, either you leave now or I'm going to electrocute the shit out of you. Your choice. And so they bounce on him. And then they leave, and basically we have a point where they need to get a stronger talisman. And, and she has a friend who she entrusted, who's a neutral party, with this. And basically, we also get a flash from Simone, and basically he's talking like they've made their move, but I still have a trump card, and they show you the tree, and the tree is like reddish in between the bark, and they end up getting to this guy's house, and this guy goes to let him in, and he asks him for a password, and I think the password is something like something about shaky boobs. And I think this guy's name is June, right? I think his last name is June. And something about shaky boobs aren't real boobs, or Junichiro. Junichiro, yeah, that's the guy's name, Junichiro. She calls him June. So, yeah, and he's this blonde kid, and you get, and so they walk in, he goes to hand them the briefcase. He's like, I've never used the talisman, it should be still good. And this talisman is just an ordinary talisman. It is a very powerful talisman amplifier thing, like, that she made. And before they leave, he goes, you want me to light incense, not incest, that would be dirty, incense. And he's like, for what? And so they light it, and they're like, I gotta start using her name instead of just calling her the princess all the time. But it's I don't know how I could say, and she's dead, and they're like, what? And she's listening to all of this because she has the pendant, and he's like Miharu's like, she's not dead, or don't believe everything you hear. He goes, oh, I'm not that stupid. He goes, I went and inspected the body. It was, I saw her skeleton inside the barrel. And he's like, they're like, what? And then they show you Simone, and Simone, and they go, and the next thing you see, he's like, the tree may be protecting the princess, but I have my logical trump card. And then you see the skeleton in there, and so there you go. That's the big shock. She's dead already. But how are they talking to her if she's dead? And she's very much alive right now, and she's answering them. And he has the barrel with the skeleton in it, and they're like, she died inside the barrel. So that's how the episode ends. And we get some scenes for the next week's episode. We see that what's his face, the new kid, June. He's gonna be fighting. There's some sort of machine gun too that they show, so maybe he's a magic gunsman. That'd be cool. They're obviously gonna have to go after the princess's body. They're gonna have to find out what the fuck happened, because how are they talking to a dead person? There's no such thing as ghosts. So when you're dead, you're dead. So that is pretty cool. I'm gonna give this episode a 4 out of 5. I thought it was great. We had plenty of action, lots of story, and we were left with an amazing cliffhanger. That she's dead. But they're talking to her. And she heard that she was dead. And this kid wouldn't be wrong because he knew her. So there's a lot of craziness. So, and she died in the barrel on the island. Like, it's crazy. Excuse me. So, I don't know. I really enjoyed the episode. Again, I like the pacing. I like how much story we're getting out of this thing. We're getting plenty of action mixed with story, so I really enjoyed it. And I cannot wait to see what happens next week and how they explain this. So this is me saying click it up if you like it. Comment if you must, subscribe if you can. This is Alert Wolf signing out.